Hey guys, it's Pintoshi here. Today we're going to be going over altcoins versus Bitcoin once again, considering everything that's happened in the market and that a lot of people have been asking for an update. So here's the basic market structure that we've seen. Price, or I should say Bitcoin dominance, has trended down for the most part outside of the lows that we saw in August that rallied to the January highs. When we last spoke about it, it's when Bitcoin dominance had started to bottom. For the most part, we're still stuck in between the 61 and 63% range. And in my experience, a 1% rise in Bitcoin dominance equals a 10% loss on the Alt BTC pair. Keep in mind that this is the average alt. There's always going to be outliers that overperform or underperform the market. And before we get into it further, I want to point out again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't have any licensing and I barely know what I'm doing. So what we're seeing here is that prices had pretty strong reactions off these lows. However, it's been squeezed between this long-term downtrend line and the 63% Bitcoin dominance area. What we really want to see for alts to continue is it has to break this 61%, because if we end up closing above this 63% and this downtrend line, then we know we're likely to go towards 65 to 67% on Bitcoin dominance, just like we did from August. And what did we see in August and September? We saw alts drop around 50%. At this time, it's really difficult to say what's going to happen because one, we just saw alts fall to their high time frame 4-hour supports, and basically what's happened during that is when Bitcoin falls 10% and the alt BTC ratio falls 1%, it equates to about a 20% drop. So it's very significant. And the market for the most part has been pretty overextended. I talked a little bit about it last week on Twitter, just the need to feel that we'd probably get some discounts soon, and that the market was a little overextended. There's no way to time these things perfectly, and you don't have to capture the top, you don't have to capture the bottom. Really, it's about capturing a large percentage of the move, and that way you can capitalize on it. I think, anytime you capture 80% of a trend, you've done really well. So what I would like to see is that Alt BTC starts to bottom and that Bitcoin, for the most part, let me get to that chart, BTC USD. For the most part, I'd like to see Bitcoin go sideways for a little time period and consolidate, give alts time to breathe. This trend line here, it's a dynamic trend line. And it's mainly a 1-hour support and resistance, at least on my chart. So it's acted like a magnet. Here we acted as resistance, we broke above, and now we've came and tested it as support. For continuation on Bitcoin, you're probably going to want to see this area recovered and this confirmed as a higher low. If we do end up losing this and this higher low area, then the next areas I would think about would be this 48,000 area, the 44,000 area, and the 42 through 43,000 area. Price can correct that far and still remain bullish on the high time frames. It's really easy to lose sight of that. But for the most part, we have just made higher lows. There haven't been any major macro structure changes. And it's really hard sometimes because these pullbacks seem significant. But you have to realize that these prices, a $550 change is only a 1% change. So basically at this time, I wouldn't make any rash decisions, especially on a day like we just had. These are bound to happen. If you weren't here in 2017, we actually had 5 or 6 pullbacks of around 30%. So this is just something that happens in this market. It's why we're here. It's volatile. Volatility provides opportunities. I would just take a step back. The market is more likely to revert to the mean. So if something's fallen a significant amount, it's most likely to recover a good amount of what it lost, and you're able to take a reassessment at that time. Where I'd be reassessing is based off what Bitcoin does in this area, as opposed to, trading out of panic or fear, because then that's when you're really going to be giving away more of your gains. So look for this, see if price rejects here and it comes back down here. This might provide another opportunity. And that's my current outlook right now. We don't know if we're going to have another long-term, midterm reversal where maybe we have a 1 to 3 month corrective period. I hope that's not the case, but if it is, we have to prepare for it and trade accordingly. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you guys again, and I'll give another update on Thursday.